Hey, what's up, y'all? This is Rodney, and I'm back, and I just wanted to come and talk about the Real Housewives of New York. All right, so Cy and no, not Cy. I'm getting ahead of myself. See, I'm ready to get into the mess. Jessel goes out to eat with her husband. I cannot pronounce her husband's name. I can't remember how to pronounce it. Nonetheless, she goes out to have brunch or breakfast with her husband. They are planning a date night. They're going to have a staycation and they're going to try to get things back on track, I guess, with their sex life. They haven't had sex. For those who don't know, I think it's Pavid. I think his name is Pavid. And Jessel haven't had sex in 2 years. That's a long time. Jessel has told us that, they're busy. And, I think also she mentioned I think she has like a scar from her, I think she had a C section. And I guess the scar probably makes her feel a little unattractive. Listen, you know, at the end of the day, if Jessel not complaining about their sex life, and if her husband ain't complaining about their sex life, then girl, it's not an issue. Now, if one person in the marriage was complaining about the sex life, then of course that's when the issue will come into play. Could I be in a marriage for 2 years and not have sex? Probably not. Um, 3, 4 months, I could understand, girl. When you start getting your 40s, you probably got kids, and you work, he work. Girl, I could see how you could go a few months without having sex. I could see it. 2 years, that's a long time, especially if it's one thing if it's health related. If it's health related, then girl, you the love of my life, supposed to be, girl, or the love for the moment. Okay, then girl, I'm gonna stick around. And maybe Jessel's thing is because she just doesn't feel sexy because of her scar. I don't know, child. At the end of the day, this ain't about us. It's about Jessel and her husband. If Jessel ain't got no issue, and her husband he doesn't have an issue, there's not an issue. Girl, she says she still give him head. So, girl, if he's satisfied with head, girl, that is what it is, girl. Um, Jessel, she tells her husband about the girl thinking that she comes from privilege. I think this is what's going on. I already told y'all. I think that there was not. I think there was an article about Jessel not living in New York and her supposedly being from Dallas and living in $1 million home. Someone said this in the comment section, and I 100% agree. They should have did a better job at introducing Jessel to the store to the cat to us if that story is true. You didn't have to go in detail about Jessel's story. You could have just said Jessel lives somewhere else. If you didn't want to say the city, Jessel lives in Dallas, Texas, part time. She has now decided they could have had Jessel say that to somebody. Oh yeah, I've decided to make New York my final destination. I've decided to live in New York full time. I've been traveling back and forth between here and my home in Dallas, but I've decided that this is where I want to lay down my roots and raise my kids. Boom, in the conversation. Girl, that's literally a 2 or 3 minute conversation. Girl. So I think that Aaron and Cy, everybody know that Jessel probably is not does not live in New York full time until now, probably because of the show. And I think that's where part of the issue is coming in. But girl, you need to take that up with Andy and his friends. Okay. I also think this is another part of the problem because if you listen to the stuff that Jessel says, it does leave a question mark because nobody in that friend group, Jenna, Uba, Cy, Brian, especially Aaron, are going to say that Tribeca is up and coming. So when you hear Jessel say that, that sounds like someone who just moved to New York or doesn't know. And you probably don't know because you don't live in New York. Okay, right? So there are things that Jessel has said where it's kind of like, oh, but I'm still not mad at Jessel. It's just that girl, it is what it is. But they should have let us know so that part of the story could have been taken care of. This is what happens when you try to tell your story after somebody else's. This is what I think is going on with Jessel and Cy. Cy told her story. Jessel tells her story. In Sai's head and Aaron's head, and I think even Brienne's, I think, they think that Jessel is trying to compare stories. I don't think that Jessel was trying to compare stories. I think that Jessel was just telling her story. Okay? I don't think that Jessel has at one moment tried to compare how her life to Sai's life. I don't. Remember on Real Housewives of Miami when Gertie, I forgot the lady's name, Gertie and the other lady, the lesbian, the kissing lesbian, the lesbian, I forgot her name. Remember when she was talking about how like her son had died? It was a whole traumatic story. And then Gertie was like, I had a miscarriage. She was talking about the loss of her child when she had a miscarriage. And I think Adriana tried to make it seem as though Gertie was trying to like make it about her. Sometimes, don't get it twisted. There are people out there who will try and make a story or make the moment about them all the time. I completely understand. But I think sometimes in some situations, if you had somebody who was close to you who died, and then somebody else is sitting there and they had somebody who close to them that died, I think that's just a way for people to try to kind of like say, I understand. You're not alone. It happened to me. I don't think that in every situation is somebody trying to like take the shine away from you. I think that in this situation, the girls are getting to know each other. You had Sai tell her story. Jessel tells her story, and then Sai comes in with the, "Oh, girl, you trying to act like you was Poe." In Jessel's head, and I think that this is what's going on, and I'm with behind Jessel. They say Jessel comes from a middle class family. Middle class is not rich. Period. Okay. They also say that Jessel, I think, did Jessel say this, or I think the fans are saying this? I can't remember. I guess when Jessel decided to move from the UK to New York, her parents basically said, if you move, you're on your own. And I think that's when she moved in with her uncle. And then I think her uncle just provided her shelter. And I'm sure probably food or probably, cat money here and there. But at the end of the day, Jessel still got to where she's at because she put in the hard work. You see what I'm saying? It wasn't like, girl, she was born into this wealthy family with connections. It's not like it's not like she's a Hilton. It's not like she's a Carter. It's not like she's a Kardashian. You see what I'm saying? Like, even with her coming from a middle class family and even with her uncle allowing her to stay with him in New York, Jessel still had to work and get to where she's at on her own. She was not born into wealth. She was not born into power. She was not born into access. She was not born into resources, okay? And I think that because Sai thinks that, girl, your story is not as dramatic or as traumatic as mine, then, girl, how dare you sit here and say, oh, X, Y, and Z? But Jessel is just telling her story. It ain't got nothing to do with you, Sai. You are the one who's comparing the stories and making it apples to oranges. I don't think that Jessel is trying to say that, girl, I found my mama girl in the middle of a park and I was homeless and had to live in a college dorm. And girl, I was out on my own at 16. Y'all are making it that way. Y'all are making it that way. Just because someone allows you to stay with them, that's like if I allowed my nieces to live with me, right? And I was like, okay, girl, I'm gonna give you a place to stay. You ain't gotta worry about no bills. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna have to work, but don't drink my alcohol. Okay? You ain't got to worry about no bills. Just work, take care of your business, go to school. Girl, if my niece came up and was like, oh girl, my uncle provided me with a place to stay, but I still had to work and make these connections on my own, girl, that wouldn't be a lie. You see what I'm saying? Anyways, we'll get back to Side and Jessel in a little bit. Jenna and Brienne go to a lesbian bar. Girl, kissing lesbians. Brienne and Jenna go to a lesbian bar. Jenna, looks like she's trying to be a team player. Girl, some lesbian walk up to her, girl. some cute little young, little white lesbian girl. Girl, when Jenna told that lady, bitch, girl, so they were trying to exchange telephone numbers, or she was giving Jenna her telephone number, and she couldn't take the pen off she could take the top off of the pen. Girl, when Jenna, and she told Jenna to take the top off. Girl, when Jenna told that lady, girl, my teeth are fake. Girl, I said Jenna is so awkward. Girl, not you telling this lady in the bar, girl, that you just met, girl, your teeth is fake. Girl, you could have just said, girl, I'm not putting that shit in my mouth. Girl, I don't know what that pen did, okay? Um, Brian talking about when Brian said, I have my gloves all ready to finger bang. Bitch! When Brian said, I got my gloves all ready to finger bang, I said, girl, yeah. One, who you finger banging with wool gloves on? Girl, you acting like you got on some plastic gloves, girl. And even if you did, girl, if you got to do all that to finger bang somebody, you don't need to be finger banging them, okay? If you got to put on gloves and stick your hand in a little bit of coochie, girl, you don't need to be putting your hands in a coochie, okay? Anyways, they have a double date, Sai and her husband, and Aaron and her husband. Girl, they bring up Jessel as part of the conversation. And um, I think it was Aaron. If your wife didn't have sex with you for a year and a half, what would you do? And her husband, I forgot his name, Abe, I think it's Abe, said that he was gonna go fuck somebody else. David, Sai's husband, said that that would probably be the end of the relationship. Girl, this is the thing. That's really the mature thing to do. Cheating is not the answer. People cheat, especially men, because they know that women, girl, are probably going to forgive them and not leave. That's why they cheat. They don't have they're not going to do like David said, girl, if we get to a point where this is not working out, the relationship just needs to end. No, I'm just going to go fuck somebody else, and if you find out, then girl, I know you're probably going to stay anyways. Y'all see how quick Abe tried to shut the conversation down when Aaron was like, I will go have sex. Did she? I rewound that part like 5 times, and it sounded. I thought she said I wouldn't, but I think she said I would have sex with another man. And then he was like, "Let's not talk about that." Girl, you just said you would fuck somebody else. So now when it's time for me to have a conversation about what I would let happen, now all of a sudden you don't want to talk about it. Girl, these niggas are all the same, okay? You want to talk about what you want to do, but girl, when I talk about what I want to do, then all of a sudden, girl, you want to shut the conversation down. Aaron, girl, it's the Trump girl. Aaron is a Trump supporter. Ugh. That's the only thing that makes me like not like Aaron, but I like Aaron. I do. I like Aaron. Aaron is a Trump supporter. Damn. Um, but Aaron basically says that okay, so Aaron and Abe are probably once things start to not, I guess, go the way they want to sexually in the bedroom. They've had conversations about basically having an open marriage, possibly bringing someone in the bedroom. Aaron said she's not eating no pussy. I know that's right. Aaron said, we talked about having a threesome, but girl, I don't want no woman. I want a man. I said, I know that's right. We ain't bringing no bitch up in here. Girl, we have a threesome, bitch. It's gonna be it's gonna be a man. I can see I can see girl, Quad is just I can see A. I can see Abe getting down. I can see Abe want to like eventually like, okay, we'll bring a man. You know, people could believe it or not, girl. Let me shut up. Um Aaron also said that maybe if it was a gay man, I know some of y'all, girl, yes, there are gay men out there who consider themselves gay, who still, girl, can get an erection and have sex with women. I know some. I remember the first guy I met, not like I was having sex with, a guy who I knew. I remember him, and this was probably like this was probably like 10 plus years ago. I was so shocked because I really hadn't like I didn't know it was true. Basically, this girl found out he had a big old thing. Girl, he had a big dick. I saw it. It was big. I said, damn, your dick is big. His dick was humongous. Okay. Um, this girl found out that he had a big dick, and she was like, "I want to have sex with you." He was like, "Okay." Now, mind you, he was a whole queen, a queen. But girl, he used to have sex with a girl, and I used to be like, "Huh?" He was like, "Yeah," and I'm so y'all just said he was like, "Yeah, girl." I'm like, "It's just sex," but he still considered himself to be gay. He just had sex with a girl. But yeah, so there are men out there who still label themselves as gay, and if you want to have sex, like okay, girl, like it's just sex. So Aaron said that I guess so there wouldn't be any type of emotional ties or issues that when it came down to it, she would just have sex with a gay man. I liked this conversation. I did. Y'all saw David sitting there looking like what the fuck are they talking about? Yeah. It's a real that's in real life, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Girl, eventually, girl, you're gonna get tired of fucking the same person. Sorry. This is just what I believe in. This is nobody else, it's just what I believe in. I believe that girl, people are not really meant to just have sex with one person for the rest of their life. Sorry. And if you want to just stay married, especially if you have a lot of businesses together, if you work together as a couple, if you are better together than apart, then girl, I can see how people, would rather just say, okay, we can stay together because our businesses are tied to each other. We actually get along. It's just that girl, we don't like having sex with each other no more. And girl, sometimes we can have sex, but you can go have sex with somebody else, and I go have sex with somebody else. And if Abe and Aaron feel like, girl, we actually like being together, but now in 10 years, we've reached a point where, girl, we really don't like having sex because it's kind of boring. And girl, I want to go have sex. He want to go have sex. Or girl, he want to watch me get fucked by a man. Then girl, I was with Abe and Aaron. I was. I think that was a realistic, real conversation that a lot of people need to have. We ain't even gotta cheat. You ain't gotta cheat on me. I ain't gotta cheat on you. Let's have this conversation early. Okay, probably in 10 years, whenever we feel an itch, because girl, we probably we in our 50s, close to 50. It's kind of like, girl, we've been having sex for 25, 30 years. Girl, I'm bored. You're not bored. But I don't want to leave you though, because you actually cool and we get along and we work well together. Anyways. Brienne goes to an antique bookstore. She says she loves books. She loves to read. I loved her outfit. I thought the outfit was really, really cute. I think they're going to have a memorial for her grandmother. Um, she loved her grandmother. Shout out to Mimi. Um, I forgot they went somewhere like some spiritual place. I wasn't paying attention. Uber had a breakdown. I felt like it was kind of. I feel like the scene fell flat. I feel like Uber should have went by herself, maybe. I feel like stuff like that. Okay, I know they're shooting a TV show, so it's kind of like, okay, girl, I get it. But I feel like stuff like that, you have to be very. Sometimes you have to invite on. You have to invite certain people. Like someone like Side probably doesn't need to be a part of something like that. You probably need to take someone like Brian. You know what I'm saying? Jessel. Maybe even Jenna. But Sai's the type of person that she just needs to stay home. Um, Aaron, not Aaron. Jessel asks Sai to dinner or to lunch. Sai says she really don't want to go, but she'll go. Sai has a conversation with her daughter. They go out for desserts. Her daughter is a ballerina. She wants to be in Broadway. She wants an agent, so she wants to see her name in lights. That was a cute little scene with her daughter London. That girl looked just like her daddy. Um, Jessel and Pavitt, they have a little scene. You could tell it was awkward. It's always, to me, it's always awkward when I see the couples, because I know they probably feel awkward too. Like, girl, we doing this sexy. Like, she had climbed on top of him and was telling him, I think, what Brienne told her she needed to do. You could tell that he was awkward. I mean, he felt uncomfortable. She felt uncomfortable. I felt uncomfortable watching them because I knew they were probably uncomfortable. I was like, ugh. Jessel and Sai. Okay. I know y'all don't like Sai. I ain't got no issue with Sai. I could take a leave Sai, honestly. But I do want to see Sai come back next season because I want to see how she acts with the second season. Sai had every right to be pissed off, frustrated, and girl upset at Jessel. Girl, do not invite me to lunch, and then you're 45 minutes late. You ain't text or call because just like Sai said, I really didn't want to be here in the first place. So because I really didn't want to come, right? And now that I'm here and you're late and you ain't called to let me know your ass was late, oh girl. So now the conversation was already, it was already starting off bad because again, Sai didn't want to be there anyways. And Justin was dead ass wrong. Girl, do not have me wait for no 45. Girl, bitch, Justin would have walked into that motherfucking restaurant and girl, I would have been walking out. Okay. Um, Jessel says that she finally had sex with Pavitt, and Sai says that she doesn't believe her. I mean, I don't know. I could see. I don't know, girl. At first, I was like, girl, I'm kind of with Sai. But then I thought about it. I was like, girl, why would Jessel have to? I mean, girl, you never know if people lying. I was like, girl, I mean, I guess. I don't think she's lying. I think they had sex. She said it took her 20 minutes to kind of warm up, but they finally did it. Girl, Justin probably don't want to be with that man. Girl, not quite as good. Justin probably don't want to be with that man no more. Anyways, um, Jessel apologizes for coming across as if she was comparing her life to theirs. Again, I don't think that that's what Jessel was trying to do. However, Jessel, I think, is just trying to just move forward. Um, Girl, Sai told that lady to her face, Justin, to be honest, I really don't care. You could have phoned me for this. Bitch, at that point, girl, the gloves would have been off. Listen, I know I'm late and I know I was 45 minutes late. Girl, I am sitting here trying to have a conversation with you. And I'm trying to move forward. And I'm trying to build a relationship. And I'm telling you that if it came across as if I was trying to compare my story to yours, then I'm sorry. That's not what I was trying to do. And then you turn around and you tell me, Jessel, to be honest, I really don't care. Well, I would have said, well, bitch, I can't tell. Because every time I look up, you got something slick to say out your fucking mouth. They need an ignorant bitch on the show. Now you don't care. But every time I look up, you got something slick to say. So you let me know what we doing. I'm trying to forge a relationship with you, girl. And if you don't want the relationship, girl, just let me know. Cause so when I come around you, I know where we stand. It'll be a hey, how you doing? And grandma, not even hey, how you doing? Hey, hello, girl, and I'm gonna keep it because at that point I don't care how you doing. She says I can come across abrasive. Um, that's what Jessel was telling Sal. Then she says that I have a similar story. She started talking about her uncle being an alcoholic, and just size like, girl, this is apples or oranges. It's really not. I know that's your mother, and I know that that's her uncle. But girl, you don't know the type of relationship that Jessel had with her uncle. If it's someone who she really cared for deeply, then girl, at the end of the day, girl, even though the title is different, girl, that's still someone who she cared for. It's a similar story. Okay. I think at this point, Sai just doesn't want to hear anything Jessel has to say for whatever reason. And Jessel is still trying to open up to these ladies. And I think now she's probably going to have to get to a point where it's kind of like, girl, fuck you. Girl. I'm tired. I'm not about to go around her kissing your ass. Like, girl, it is what it is. You've made up in your head whatever you've made up in your head. And I'm not here, and I'm not trying to change whatever you have in your head about me. Period. That's what Justin gonna have to be with Sai. Other than that, I still don't know why. I don't know, girl. Sai, girl. It is what it is, girl. All right, y'all. That's it. I'm gone. I'll talk to y'all later. Have a good day. Bye, y'all.